Scores of Pan-African organizations say the U.S. president should be banned from the Caribbean for his insulting comments about Haiti. Our top story in Caribbean Newsline from Monday, January 15th. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Dawn Paris. Good evening. About 90 Pan-African organizations and leaders in the Caribbean have declared United States President Donald Trump persona non grata for reported racist remarks he made last week about Haiti, Africa, and El Salvador. And they're serving notice that any attempt by the American president to visit any Caribbean nation will be met with protests. A declaration issued by the groups over the weekend is one of the latest expressions of outrage and condemnation after Trump, during a closed-door meeting on immigration reform with lawmakers last Thursday, reportedly used a slur as he questioned why the U.S. would accept more people from Haiti and countries in Africa rather than places like Norway. And the Pan-African leaders said in a declaration that Trump made himself unwelcome in the region because of his vulgar insults against the countries. The document states that President Trump is not welcome in any territory of the Caribbean, and the group would petition governments and protest against any Trump visit. They said they would, quote, engage in popular demonstrations designed to prevent President Donald Trump's entry into any portion of the sovereign territory of our Caribbean region, end quote. Among the organizations and leaders supporting and endorsing the declaration were those from Barbados, Jamaica, Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago, Guadeloupe, and Martinique, along with regional bodies. They contended that with Africa being the motherland and Haiti the cornerstone of Caribbean civilization, any insult or attack directed at the African continent or Haiti is an insult and attack that is directed at all Caribbean people as well. Trump has denied making the comments as claimed by the lone Democrat at the immigration meeting, and following days of being denounced by individuals and groups from around the world, including many in the Caribbean, he declared on Sunday that he is not a racist. Meantime, still on the immigration front, the Trump administration says it will resume accepting renewal requests for a program that shields young Caribbean and other immigrants who were brought illegally into the U.S. as children from deportation. The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services said on Saturday that until further notice, the Obama-era program, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, DACA, will be operated on the terms in place before it was rescinded in September last year by President Trump. This follows a federal court order. A judge last week ruled that the Trump administration must maintain the DACA program on a nationwide basis as a legal challenge to the president's decision goes forward. Antigua and Barbuda is trying to find out how it can improve the standard of its Citizenship by Investment CIP program, the CIP, to convince Canada to remove visa requirements for citizens of the Twin Island nation. Prime Minister Gaston Brown has written to his Canadian counterpart, Justin Trudeau, on the matter. His letter dated January 13th followed Trudeau saying last Thursday that the reason his government ended visa-free access for Antiguans and Barbudans was that the country's CIP did not meet high enough standards. Trudeau said Canada has fairly stringent criteria to ensure that people who visit are who they say they are, and Antigua and Barbuda was among countries that did not satisfy its high standards on immigration and border control. And he said if significant improvements and changes were made to the CIP, then his government could consider lifting the visa requirements.
In a swift response, Prime Minister Brown has invited the Canadians to review the local CIP and make recommendations. Trudeau, who was responding to a question at a town hall meeting in Ontario, Canada, said Antigua's CIP did not have the level of stringency and analysis to satisfy Canada's high standards for border control and security. He added, Canada is happy to work with Antigua to ensure the CIP meets the required standards. Prime Minister Brown says while this country already has a very intense vetting system with 4 levels of stringent screening, he welcomes Canada's assistance in bolstering the security of the program.
And Prime Minister Brown wants the matter discussed further when Antigua and Barbuda's High Commissioner to Canada, Sir Ronald Sanders, meets with Canadian officials later this month. Reports of Trinidadians being held at a detention camp in Iraq are being investigated by the government of the Twin Island Republic. National Security Minister Edmund Dillon said the probe is being carried out through diplomatic channels and other agencies. This follows a legislator saying that reports indicated that Trinidadians were being held in Iraq and the government of that country wanted to repatriate them. Concerning local immigration matters, Dillon disclosed that over 14,000 visitors overstayed their time in the country between January 1st and November 30th last year. He disclosed that based on information from the counter-trafficking unit, 4 people were smuggled into Trinidad and Tobago from Venezuela last year. Still in Trinidad and Tobago, the so-called fake oil scandal at state-owned oil company Petrotrin could possibly be headed for a criminal investigation. Energy Minister Franklin Kahn says information related to the matter is now in the hands of the Director of Public Prosecutions. We get more in this CNC3 news report.
A Petrotrin audit committee first discovered discrepancies between reported oil production at the refinery's Cats Hill field and actual production receipts. The company at the heart of the issue, ANV Oil and Gas, has since been fired by Petrotrin following 2 independent audit reports. Energy Minister Franklin Kahn was asked whether the matter was referred to the police for investigation.
With specific reference to the question, the matter referred to in this question has not been referred to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. However, I have been informed by the board of Petrotrin that this said matter was referred in November of 2017 to the DPP for advice.
Asked by Oropouche East MP Dr. Rudal Munilal whether government was following the money in this matter, Minister Kahn said the board did what it could and forwarded the matter to the relevant authorities. As it relates to another key figure in the scandal, Vidyut Yoki Singh, he is still employed at Petrotrin.
He is under investigations at Petrotrin, and Petrotrin has very robust and well-written procedure as to how these investigations takes place, and that process is ongoing.
Trinidad and Tobago's Caribbean Airlines officially launched its inaugural flight to Cuba on Saturday. Minister of Trade and Industry Paula Gopi-Skoon says she expects the flights will provide seamless connections to and from Barbados, Grenada and Guyana. She says the service provides an opportunity to strengthen the relationship between the Spanish-speaking nation and the Twin Island Republic.
The relationship between Cuba and Trinidad is now poised to be even greater, and specifically in terms of trade and economic relations, tourism, and so that there's a lot to expect from this. The connectivity will only serve to heighten the brotherly relations between our 2 countries, and we look forward to exchange visits between Cubans.
Still to come in Caribbean Newsline, Jamaica's Prime Minister to meet with the unions for long-awaited wage talks. We'll be right back.
In a place where legends start, the beach is just the beginning. So live a little for the exhilaration and the colour of every moment, where time is and life is a spirited event. Immerse yourself in the culture, the music, the people, the island. Love Antigua and Barbuda. Embrace an experience that leaves you breathless, from cricket to sailing week to carnival and more. Antigua and Barbuda, the beach is just the beginning.
Come Come and experience fun, meeting amazing people, and enjoying fantastic food at the 22nd Annual St. Kitts Music Festival. 5 days of festivities from June 27th to July 1st of 2018, with main stage performances from the 28th to the 30th. Here's the first wave of confirmed acts. The legendary Patti LaBelle, Queen of Dancehall, Spice, Miss Lauryn Hill. Many more acts to be announced. Book now and save the date. For more information, log on to StKittsMusicFestival.net. The St. Kitts Music Festival, an experience like no other.
Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness is expected to hold talks with the heads of various bargaining units this week as the government seeks to ease concern over protracted wage talks involving public sector workers. Last month, the police staged 2 sit-outs to protest the proposed 6% wage increase over 2 years. Nurses also staged a similar protest in November. Tension between the government and the country's teachers eased last week after news emerged that favorable consideration was being given to certain fringe benefits proposed by the Jamaica Teachers Association. But teachers will know this week government's proposal for an increase in basic wages. Barbados' opposition leader Mia Mottley is once again criticizing the government's handling of the sewage crisis on the island's south coast. She says the government had been warned 2 years ago that the South Coast and Bridgetown sewage systems were on the verge of collapse. Speaking at a pre-election rally on Sunday night, the Barbados Labour Party leader said, despite warnings from various sources, Prime Minister Fundell Stewart ignored the advice to urgently invest in maintenance of the systems.
You are aware that the South Coast sewage treatment plant has been virtually non-functioning for over a year. You can see it on the screen too. As over 90% of the sewage entering the plant is now being diverted from the influent to the effluent pumps. In other words, the plant ain't doing nothing. You have a big strainer and the strainer breaks down. That's what it meant. And she then went on to tell you that this problem has been going on for over a year. Now I want to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, how in good conscience could a government know this? Written to the chairman of the Water Authority, written to the minister, spoken to by me. But I didn't stop there. On that same day at Foundation School addressing you, the family of the Labour Party, I left Fundell Stewart with these words. I am therefore asking the Prime Minister in the interest of all Barbadians to instruct his Minister of Finance on Monday, October 26, 2015 to make the funds available to the Barbados Water Authority.
Over in Antigua and Barbuda, the Gaston Brown-led administration says more than 100 Barbudans have indicated their willingness to purchase lands on Barbuda. The government says it comes on the heels of the recently passed Barbuda Land Amendment Act 2017, which gives Barbudans by birth or by parentage the right to purchase their household plots for as low as $1. In a national address, Brown said the recently passed bill will unlock the economic potential of the land that lay fallow for centuries and will provide the citizens of Barbuda with significant economic opportunities which they had been previously denied. According to Chief of Staff of the Antigua and Barbuda Cabinet, Lionel Max Hurst, more signed expressions of interest will be gathered by the time the Act is gazetted and a date is published for its effective commencement. After passage in Parliament earlier this year, the bill was sent to the Upper House last week, where it was debated and passed. Over now to the Bahamas, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis is responding to the 2018 U.S. travel advisory to the island. He says despite the negative images being painted about the country, citizens should remain focused and prove them wrong. We get more in the ZNS Network News report.
Department of State's Level 2 travel advisory issued from the Bahamas this week urged its citizens to exercise extreme caution when coming to the country due to the level of crime. The advisory warned that violent crime, including burglary, armed robbery, and sexual assault, are common during daylight hours and in tourist areas, including the fish fry at Arawak Key and the over-the-hill area of New Providence. Our news team has learned that the American Travel Advisory is not sitting well with many Bahamians, including Arawak Key vendors. When asked about the impact the advisory can have on our country, Prime Minister Dr. The Honorable Hubert Minnis indicated that countries around the world have a responsibility to their people.
We also have a responsibility to our people. We must assure them that regardless to what negative they may hear out there, we must continue to remain focused and prove those individuals wrong.
U.S. citizens were also advised not to resist an armed robbery attempt and to always have a contingency plan for emergency situations. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Minnis admitted that every nation has challenges that can be resolved.
The mere fact that the Bahamians are speaking out against it, obviously, they have issues with it, and you will find that that helps to elevate and take your country to another level in terms of responsibility and ensuring that there's no avenue for such a statement moving forward.
The U.S. Embassy here in Nassau released details of the State Department's new travel advisory system, providing levels of advice ranging from 1 to 4. Level 1, which is the lowest advisory, exercises normal precautions. Level 2 addresses increased caution. Level 3 means reconsider travel. And U.S. officials warn that Level 4 means U.S. citizens must not travel to that country.
And ahead in News 9 Sport, a West Indies all-rounder who's been banned from the sport for a doping violation is set to return to international cricket. We will tell you who he is after the break.
Come, sail with us through our ocean blues, where there's a blessed land that's waiting for you. Look, listen, feel. Realize your dream escape that's magically surreal. The best kept secret, a place you'll never forget, where adventure beckons with every gentle footstep. From lush mountain green to warm volcanic sand, submerged in splendor, our 32 enchanting islands. A kaleidoscope of experiences. No need to look anymore. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Caribbean you're looking for.
Did you know that a strategy has been developed to help improve the region's education and human resources?
You didn't? Well, the HID strategy, as it is called, will guide CARICOM in how it delivers quality education and training to the people of the region.
The strategy has been crafted by a group of experts called the HRD Commission.
Consultations have been done across the region to get your input.
Do you know that none of us will be left behind?
The HRD strategy is important to all of us, students, parents, and employers. It will prepare the region, especially the youth, for the 21st century economy and society.
The HRD strategy, unlocking Caribbean human potential.
Welcome back. Continuing with sports now, West Indies all-rounder Andre Russell is set to return to international cricket. The Jamaican, who's been banned from the sport for a doping violation, is expected to pad up after the sanction is lifted at the end of this month. In an interview with TVJ Sport, Russell took aim at the executive of Cricket West Indies for the slow process of bringing him back to the team. He blamed lack of proper facilities as the reason behind the regional side's dismal performance in recent matches.
Speaking on TVJ's Iron Sports, 29-year-old Andre Russell, who is set to return to cricket when his one-year ban ends on January 30, believes other nations are improving mainly because of their investment in the facilities, while the West Indies continue to lag behind.
And I just think facilities. That's the only thing we need. We have talent, we are given talents. But all these other countries, India, New Zealand, England, wherever, you go to any county ground, They have a big indoor net with 6 lanes, 4 lanes. We don't have one. These are the difference. Players can go in and work on the games. Now we are doing a professional league. Players getting paid monthly. That is awesome. But I'm saying, facilities is what gonna make the difference.
The Caribbean team is currently ranked at number 8 in tests, 9 in ODIs and number 5 in T20s, despite winning 2 of the last 3 World Cups in the shortest format of the game. In the meantime, Russell has expressed a disappointment with the delayed response from the management of West Indies Cricket to queries about his status before he eventually signed off on a few T20 leagues around the world.
My main goal is to come back and play in cricket, not to be sitting on the bench. So like certain requests that I asked for, okay, are you guys sure I'm going to be a part of this 11? Are you guys sure I'm going to be a part of the team? Like, I don't want to be bringing juice, you know what I mean? I was just being frank with them, letting them know this is not a joke thing. I haven't played cricket for a year, and it's just simple things that I asked for, but no one get back to me until a couple of days ago, after I made my decision to go to PSL, because all those requests, they weren't, difficult, because I'm not a difficult person.
Russell also confirmed securing T20 contracts to play in domestic leagues in India, South Africa, Bangladesh, England and the Caribbean Premier League, while negotiations continue with a team in the Australian Big Bash League.
Staying with cricket, leg spinner Damien Jacobs snatched a career-best 12-wicket haul as Jamaica Scorpions took just an hour to dispose of Leeward Islands Hurricanes by 57 runs in their 9th-round match in the Regional 4-Day Championship on Sunday. Chasing 262 for victory, Leewards resumed the final day at Sabina Park on 159 for 6, needing a further 103 runs. But they were dismissed for 204 on the stroke of the first hour of play. Jacobs, the West Indies ace spinner, grabbed 3 of the 4 remaining Hurricanes wickets to end with 5 for 83 and post match figures of 12 for 157. Part-time off-spinner John Campbell, whose 3 wickets late on Saturday turned the game in Scorpions' favour, added another scalp to his column to finish with 4 for 40. Over at Kensington Oval, Tajnarine Shandapal completed his maiden first-class 100, but newly crowned champions Guyana Jaguars had to settle for a draw against Barbados Pride. Set a highly improbable victory target of 362 in a minimum of 73 overs, Pride reached 208 for 4 in their second innings before the two sides saw it was pointless to continue. West Indies opener Craig Brathwaite hit the top score of 54 for Pride. Their captain Shamar Brooks supported with 40, Shane Mosley made 28, Roston Chase was not out on 23, and Carter added 20. And Trinidad and Tobago Red Force suffered their 3rd straight loss when they collapsed to a heavy innings and 38-run defeat to Windward Islands Volcanoes in St. George's. Resuming the final day of the 9th round contest at the National Stadium on 93 for 2 in their second innings and requiring a further 101 runs to avoid an innings defeat, Red Force were bowled out for a paltry 156 about 15 minutes after lunch. They were ripped apart by seamer Sherman Lewis and former test off-spinner Shane Shillingford, who both snared 3-wicket hauls, while left-arm spinner Larry Edward ended with 2 for 26. Openers Keegan Simmons and Kimani Melius carved out contrasting half-centuries, but reigning champions West Indies under-19s suffered a disappointing start to their title defence when they went down to host New Zealand under-19s by 8 wickets on Saturday. Sent in at Bay Oval in the opening Group A clash, the Caribbean side raced to 123 without loss, but a cluster of wickets in the middle overs hurt their momentum, restricting them to 233 for 8 off their 50 overs. Simmons carried his bat for a top score of 92 not out, while Melius unfurled a stroke-filled 78 off 85 deliveries. Left-arm spinner Rasheen Ravindra with 3 for 30 and fast bowler Matthew Fisher with 3 for 61 picked up 3 wickets apiece, as you heard, while left-arm spinner Felix Murray supported with 2 for 37. In reply, the hosts stormed to their target in the 40th over, with the exciting Finn Allen smashing an unbeaten 115 and Jacon Bula 83. And the senior men's squad will go head-to-head with Nemesis Ireland in their quest to reach the ICC 2019 Cricket World Cup after being installed in Group A of the World Cup qualifiers in Zimbabwe, which start in March. The two-time champions will play alongside the dangerous Irish, with the Netherlands and Papua New Guinea also included in the preliminary round. The winners of the ICC World Cricket League Division 2 tournament will decide the last side in the group for the March 4th to 25th qualifying tournament. Namibia play host to the Division 2 tournament from February 8th to 15th. Group B of the World Cup qualifiers, meanwhile, will comprise Afghanistan, Zimbabwe, Scotland, Hong Kong, and the runners-up from the Division 2 tournament. The last time the two sides met in an ODI during the 2015 World Cup in New Zealand, Ireland stunned the Windies by 4 wickets after remarkably chasing down 305. Switching sports now, football authorities in the Cayman Islands have been forced to postpone the Cayman Cup, citing lack of support. Officials at CIFA are saying there is a lack of sponsorship to host the event, and they're pointing fingers to the previous administration during the tenure of its embattled former president, Jeffrey Webb. Jordan Armanese of Cayman 27 News tells us more.
Moving the tournament, the Cayman Cup, from February to March, and the reason is that right now the hotels are really packed. We're having that difficulty. We also not getting the support that we was expecting.
Football Association President Alfredo Whitaker on the Cayman Cup being postponed. Under-20 national coach Gilly Seymour says lack of sponsorship stems from the association's past transgressions.
Culture is that we're holding on to the past. We're holding on to what happened with Jeffrey Webb and all the other people that was involved in all of this corruption scandal. That we're holding on to that.
With the tournament struggling to gain support, Whitaker says inter-club communication is still poor, pointing to Academy Sports Club's mini-slam tournament.
Every single football activity that takes place in Cayman, regardless of who organizes it, the Football Association should be informed, should be invited, and should be the main source of information. I find it at some point a little bit disrespectful towards the association.
Academy Technical Director Paul Bile.
And that's the sport. We'll be right back.
Sail with us through our ocean blues, where there's a blessed land that's waiting for you. Shh. Look, listen, feel. Realize your dream escape that's magically surreal. The best kept secret, a place you'll never forget, where adventure beckons with every gentle footstep. From lush mountain green to warm volcanic sand, submerged in splendor, our 32 enchanting islands. A kaleidoscope of experiences. No need to look anymore. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Caribbean you're looking for.
Did you know that a strategy has been developed to help improve the region's education and human resources?
You didn't? Well, the HID strategy, as it is called, will guide CARICOM in how it delivers quality education and training to the people of the region.
The strategy has been crafted by a group of experts called the HRD Commission.
Consultations have been done across the region to get your input.
Do you know that none of us will be left behind?
The HRD strategy is important to all of us, students, parents, and employers. It will prepare the region, especially the youth, for the 21st century economy and society.
The HRD strategy, unlocking Caribbean human potential.
Recapping the top scores of Pan-African organizations say the U.S. president should be banned from the Caribbean for his insulting comments about Haiti. And in sport, West Indies all-rounder Andre Russell set to return to international cricket. And that's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sport round the clock, log on to CanadaNews.com. We'll be back here again tomorrow. But from all of us at CNT News, thank you for watching and good night.